we are now just one day away from the highly anticipated and highly controversial release of Disney's live-action Snow White remake. While some are excited to see how this reimagined classic performs, there's no denying that the film has been overshadowed by controversy, mainly due to its lead actress, Rachel Zegler. Zegler, who has gained a reputation for outspoken and divisive remarks, has once again stirred controversy in a new interview with Allure magazine. This comes despite rumors that Disney has placed her on a tight leash, restricting her public appearances and media engagements. At the LA red carpet premiere, only Disney-affiliated interviewers were present, fueling speculation that the studio is trying to control the narrative. Zegler has repeatedly tied her personal political beliefs to her film roles, frustrating many longtime Disney fans. Some believe that her previous negative comments about the original Snow White film have alienated audiences before the movie even hits theaters. Now that we're on the eve of its release, the box office projections remain uncertain. Initial estimates suggested a $100 million+ global debut. Domestically, the movie is tracking between $50 to $55 million. Disney executives are reportedly on high alert, as there's no guarantee the film will perform well. Marketing tactics, Disney's desperate push. In an effort to generate positive publicity, Disney has flooded social media with staged PR moments. Zegler's Instagram features photos of children dressed as Snow White, leading many to believe these are carefully orchestrated marketing stunts rather than genuine fan interactions. If the film underperforms, some speculate that the media narrative is already being prepared. Toxic fandom ruined the movie. Right-wing YouTubers spread negativity. Audiences just weren't ready for a modern Snow White. However, these excuses ignore the real issue. For nearly 2 years, Disney fans have voiced their genuine concerns about the film's direction. Many believe the changes to Snow White stray too far from the beloved original, making it unrecognizable. A major concern for Disney is the impact of Disney Plus on box office sales. Many fans are choosing to wait for the film to hit streaming instead of paying for a theater ticket. In fact, some are so disinterested that they've stated they won't even watch it on Disney Plus. With all the controversy, studio control over Zegler, and mixed audience reactions, Snow White is shaping up to be one of Disney's riskiest releases in years. Will it exceed expectations or crash and burn? We'll find out soon. Disney's Snow White remake is just about to hit theaters, and one of the biggest questions surrounding the film is its staggering budget. For a movie like this, the reported costs seem excessive, making it even harder for Disney to turn a profit. Box office projections. What's realistic? While some estimates optimistically suggest the film could earn over $100 million globally in its opening weekend, that number seems a bit too generous given the controversy surrounding the movie. A $125 million global debut is possible, but that wouldn't be considered a win, especially given the expected second-week drop. Domestically, a $45 $55 million opening seems like a safe bet. But even that isn't impressive for a film of this scale. The real problem? Who's actually asking for this remake? Rachel Zegler's latest comments, more damage control needed? Rachel Zegler continues to be a thorn in Disney's side. In a recent Allure interview, she made more bold statements, including claiming that this movie is going to save lives, criticizing the white executives from West Side Story who, according to her, were overly concerned about her Latina identity, giving Steven Spielberg credit for championing her career, though that didn't help West Side Story perform at the box office. With Disney already restricting her interviews and carefully managing her public appearances, it seems like the studio is well aware of the damage she's done. Disney has been working overtime to create a positive image for the film, including using carefully staged photo ops with children dressed as Snow White. Zegler posted pictures of kids in costume on her Instagram, but many pointed out that these were Boys and Girls Club kids brought in for publicity purposes. This kind of forced marketing rarely changes the minds of audiences already skeptical about the film. If Snow White underperforms, expect the usual narratives. The alt-right YouTubers ruined it. Toxic online fandom caused the backlash. Audiences just weren't ready for a modern Snow White. But the reality is, Disney fans have been skeptical of this remake for over 2 years. The backlash isn't just coming from YouTubers or political groups. It's coming from Disney's own core audience, who don't see the point in this reimagining. Another major issue for Snow White is Disney Plus. Many people are saying, why should I pay for a ticket when I can just wait for it to stream? Some are even saying they won't bother watching it on Disney Plus either. By consistently releasing movies on streaming too quickly, Disney has trained audiences to skip the theater entirely. And with all the controversy, backlash, and lack of audience demand, Snow White might struggle harder than expected. Just days before Snow White hits theaters, Rachel Zegler is making headlines again, and not for reasons that help Disney. In yet another interview, she has once again tied the film to her personal politics, raising questions about whether this was a studio-approved narrative, or if she's gone rogue despite Disney's attempts to rein her in. Yes, you read that right. In her latest comments, Zegler suggests that Snow White will help fight racial division and serve as a tool for promoting acceptance. According to her, this isn't just a classic fairy tale anymore. It's a statement on societal issues. She even goes as far as saying that watching this movie might give people a new purpose in life, perhaps even turning them into activists. If you were expecting a simple retelling of a beloved classic, well, Zegler seems to have a very different vision for the film: the Ariana Grande connection and DEI controversy. Another point from the interview, Zegler revealed that Ariana Grande reached out to her after she was labeled a DEI hire. And surprisingly, Zegler agrees with the label, saying outright that her casting was 100% a diversity hire. Whether Disney would like her admitting this is another question entirely. Zegler's perspective on the film goes beyond casting. She believes Snow White was always meant to be about social messaging. Forget the original story. Zegler now sees her role as fighting prejudice through cinema. This comes right before the film's release, making many wonder what she was thinking. Instead of focusing on promoting the fantasy, magic, and nostalgia of Snow White, she's doubling down on the political angle, a move that hasn't worked well for other Hollywood projects. With Disney already facing backlash over the remake, Zegler's latest comments might only fuel more skepticism. As audiences grow increasingly wary of Hollywood's political messaging, it remains to be seen whether Snow White can recover from this PR mess or if it's heading for another box office disaster. With Snow White just around the corner, Rachel Zegler is making more headlines, and once again, it's not helping Disney's cause. In a new interview, she doubled down on the idea that the film is more than just a fairy tale. It's a tool for fighting division and promoting acceptance. Zegler insists that she was chosen for the role because of her singing ability, completely ignoring Disney's well-documented habit of race-swapping characters in the name of progress. She admits, "My only prayer for the future of diversity and inclusion is that we invest in and nurture talent, no matter what they look like." But then she immediately ties the movie to a broader societal message, saying, "That's why it's so important for the next generation to see movies like Snow White." According to Zegler, this isn't just a retelling of Snow White, it's a moral lesson for the next generation. Snow White will teach kids about doing what's right without resorting to anger or division. Anger can be powerful, she says, but it doesn't bring the brightest future. She claims the movie will help usher in a new dawn of kindness and acceptance over the next few years. The problem? Zegler's own past statements and actions contradict her message of love and acceptance. She was vocal in calling for Gina Carano's cancellation and has had several divisive public outbursts. She once demanded to be paid for every hour she had to wear her dress on set. Not exactly the selfless princess persona Disney probably wanted from her. This entire situation feels eerily similar to the PR disaster surrounding Marvel's Eternals. That film's actors also touted it as groundbreaking and world-changing, only for it to flop at the box office. Now, Zegler is making similar claims about Snow White, but fans just wanted a faithful adaptation, not an activism lecture. With backlash already raging online, Disney is in a tough spot. If the movie fails, will the media blame fans for not embracing its message? Or will Disney finally realize that audiences want good storytelling over forced social commentary? Disney's Snow White remake is finally about to hit theaters, and the question remains, will it be a success, or will it crash and burn? Rachel Zegler has hyped up this movie like it's about to change the world,